Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there was a magical forest unlike any other in the world. The trees were tall, their leaves shimmered with every color of the rainbow, and the animals could speak in the most gentle and melodic voices. This forest was known as Everbright, a place where magic flowed freely, and every creature lived in harmony. But the forest had a secret, a hidden treasure, a gift from the ancient times, said to hold the power to make any dream come true. In a small village near the forest lived four inseparable friends: Lily, the curious rabbit; Max, the brave young bear; Oliver, the clever owl; and Sophie, the adventurous squirrel. They had heard stories of the hidden treasure ever since they were little, but no one had ever dared to search for it. Many believed it was just a legend, but the four friends were convinced that the treasure was real, and they decided to embark on an adventure to find it. One bright morning, with the sun smiling down on them, the friends gathered at the edge of Everbright Forest. Armed with a simple map drawn from the stories they'd heard, a few snacks, and their courage, they set out. The path through the forest was filled with wonders: glowing flowers, streams that sang as they flowed, and butterflies that sparkled like diamonds in the sunlight. As they ventured deeper into the forest, they came across Flora, the queen of the flowers, who stood tall with petals that glistened like gold. She had heard about their quest and warned them: the treasure you seek is indeed real, but it is not easily found. To reach it, you must prove yourselves worthy by passing 3 trials: one of courage, one of wisdom, and one of kindness. The friends nodded determinedly. They were ready to face any challenge. Flora smiled and handed them a glowing blue petal. "This will guide you when the time comes," she said before vanishing into the wind like a whisper. Their first trial soon came when they reached the River of Courage. The water rushed fast and wild, and there was no bridge in sight. Max, the bravest of the group, stepped forward. "We can do this," he said confidently, "but we must cross together." Oliver, the wise owl, flapped his wings and flew above the river, scouting for a way across. He spotted some rocks in the distance that they could use as stepping stones. "There, we can hop from one stone to the next," he said. But the stones were slippery and the current was strong. Max went first, jumping from rock to rock, his heart pounding in his chest. Behind him, Lily, Sophie, and Oliver followed closely, their paws and claws gripping the rocks with all their strength. Suddenly, Sophie slipped and fell into the water. The river threatened to sweep her away. Without hesitation, Max leaped into the river, grabbing Sophie by the scruff of her neck and pulling her to safety. They both scrambled onto the shore, drenched but safe. They had passed the first trial, proving their courage. After drying off and resting, they continued their journey until they reached the Cave of Wisdom. The entrance was dark, with symbols carved into the stone walls that none of them could understand. As they stepped inside, the cave echoed with a deep voice. "To pass through this cave, you must solve the riddle of time." The voice continued: "I fly without wings. I cry without eyes. Whenever I go, darkness flies. What am I?" The friends looked at each other, puzzled. They sat down and thought hard. Lily, always curious, started pacing around the cave, examining the symbols. "What could it be?" she muttered. Then Oliver, the clever owl, spoke up. "It's a riddle about the sun. The sun flies across the sky without wings. It brings daylight when it appears, and the darkness leaves when it rises.